Nicolas.
This is for them. This
Nickelodeon.
doesn't go to the room.
Hello, hello. Shrek is awesome. Shrek is
So we need
awesome.
one to go to the room.
Hi, Kate. How you doing?
1, 2, 3. Shrek is awesome.
probably needs to be
Shrek is
higher.
awesome.
This thing isn't working.
here. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Is this on? Yeah. All right. Thank you. If I can ask everyone to find a seat. I'll be waiting on one more candidate. There he is. All right. Thank you all for being here. My name is Kade Salzer. I'm your student body vice president. And welcome to our Boca Raton governor debate. Tonight's debate gives students the opportunity to hear directly from the candidates and learn more about how they plan to serve our campus if they are indeed elected. A brief introduction of myself. My name is Kade Salzer, student body vice president. Thank you to our candidates for participating and to everyone for being here. So without further ado, we're going to move into the first section of tonight's debate, which is introductions. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to introduce themselves. A visual timer will be used. You can see on that left-handed TV over there. Candidates, I know it might be tough for you guys, but just to kind of help you guys have an idea of how much time is left, feel free to peek back. We will be going in order. So this is me. Sorry, guys. Should have moved along with it. But so this will be the order. Candidate 1 will have Enrique, Rico, Toro-Mendez, then Dylan Salisbury, and then May Rojas. So without any more delay, we'll move on. And Rico, your time has started. 3, 2, 1.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Enrique, Rico, Toro-Mendez, and for the past 3 years, I've had the absolute honor, privilege, and pleasure of running here at Florida Atlantic University as a Division I student athlete. Why do I mention that? Because athletics is what got me here, and I've been able to meet some wonderful people and have some wonderful experiences along the way. A little bit about myself and my leadership qualifications. I've served as the vice president of the student government for the past year now. And I've been involved in it for the past 3 years, all my time here at FAU, and I currently serve as the coordinator for student athlete engagement for the American Conference, overseeing our roughly 13 member institutions and over 3,000 student athletes, coordinating programs, initiatives, and programming across member institutions in completely different states with different ideals and different ambitions. My vision for FAU is one where every student feels supported, knows what student government does and how it can serve them, and to promote a campus culture inclusive, where every owl, again, feels heard, where we have strong partnerships with Greek life, with athletics, and all of our RSOs feel heard. My life has been entrusted and completely marked by public service. My mother working as a coordinator for donor engagement for a nonprofit in Tampa, my dad with coaching. It has been completely marked by public service. I'm not running for a title. I'm not here to tell you what I'll do and what I'm not going to do and put empty promises in front of you. I'm running to serve because that is genuinely what I feel like is my God-given calling. And I want to serve you. I want to serve all the students here at Boca Raton. And thank you so much. And you'll hear more from me soon.
Thank you, Rico. Next, we have Dylan Salisbury. Your 2 minutes starts now.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much. My name is Dylan Salisbury, and I'm running to be your next Boca campus governor because FAU has given me something invaluable. It has given me a home, and it has given me a community that I can put myself into 100%. And I believe that every single owl deserves that same sense of community that I found here at FAU. When I was a child, my mother gave me the most valuable lesson that I got in my entire life. Leave every place you go better than you found it. In middle school, I practiced this through community service. In high school, I was in student government. And now at FAU, I continue that mission through student government, leaving FAU better than I found it. That lesson also taught me that change requires someone who knows how to navigate every system that they're in, working with others to actually get things done. As your governor, I'm going to focus on 3 priorities that students tell me matter most. Fixing the problem with our Wi-Fi, fixing our parking crisis with both short and long-term solutions, and building a campus culture that makes every owl feel at home. I've spent my time at FAU building community. through my fraternity, through student government, and through the connections I've made across this campus, I want to use that to express to every single student and serve every single student here at FAU. Some of my experience previously is Chief Financial Officer for student government. Through that, I've pushed for basketball tailgates, which we've had one this semester, and we're going to have another one. And I'm very excited to use those experiences that I have working with other students and administration to build into a bigger campus community going forward for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. And with that, May, you are up. Your 2 minutes has started now.
Thank you, everyone. My name is May Diamond Rojas. I'm not originally from Florida. I was actually born in New Jersey, but I was raised in Kansas. I was raised by a single mother, and I was adopted twice over. I first came to Florida Atlantic University in 2022, and I came into student government in around 2023. I came into student government because I realized that people like me are underrepresented. We are few and far between, and this is represented in the statistics of our student government elections. Historically, we have never broken 10% of the student body voting in an election. I would like to change that. I am wholeheartedly dedicated to the students. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to go through student life, not being able to live it like the other people. We live in a very expensive area, and I believe that it is crucial that we acknowledge that and address it with effective policy to help students and make FAU equally represented. And with that, I hope to be your first goth governor.
Yeah. Thank you, May. Can we just get a brief round of applause for all the candidates here today? Thank you. With that, we move into the next section of our debate and meet the candidates, which is questioning. Whoops. We will have a designated response order that will change every question. Question 1, what are your ideas to improve the student experience on the Boca Raton campus? The response order for this question will be 1, Dylan Salisbury, 2, May Rojas, 3, Enrique, Rico, Toro-Mendez. I will remind you after each person has responded as to who is next. The same time constraint will follow here, so 2 minutes for each response. With that, Dylan, your 2 minutes starts now.
Thank you. I want to start off by talking about something that I have learned from organizing campus events. Coming up with ideas is easy. Execution is what actually matters. Let me give you an example. Like I mentioned earlier, this semester I organized a basketball tailgate because I saw a problem. Students weren't showing up to our basketball tailgates. They weren't getting engaged, or our basketball games, I apologize. They weren't getting engaged, and they weren't building the campus experience that makes college memorable. I worked directly with athletics, secured the resources, and brought students together, and it worked. So much so that we have another tailgate scheduled for this Sunday. As governor, I want to expand this model. I want regular basketball tailgates throughout the season, working with athletics to make FAU games something that students actually want to attend. But community isn't just about sports. It's about giving students real ownership over their campus experience. I want to give students a direct voice in choosing the artist for our bonfire concert. Not a committee deciding it for you, students voting on who performs. That's what student government should be about, giving the voice to our students. And let me be clear, improving student experience means fixing the basics too. You've heard me talk about parking and Wi-Fi, and those matter because you can't enjoy campus life if you can't find a parking spot or if you can't connect to the internet. So I think that it's important that we allow for FAU to be your home as well. And I've proven that I can organize the events, work with administration, and bring students together. That's not a campaign promise. It's a track record that I've proven time and time again. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. With that, May Rojas, you are next. Your 2 minutes begins in 3, 2, 1.
Thank you. I'd like to say that FAU is a sort of unusual campus for the student experience. 90% of our students are commuters. Many are non-traditional students. We know some of them. They were in the house with us. We talk with them. They're in our classes. The reason why parking is so bad is because people can't afford to live in Boca Raton. They can't afford to live in this area. In order to increase the student experience, to help students feel represented, and to thus get effective policy in return, we need to include these students in our conversations. I think of, let's see, the housing that I have. I live up in Boynton Beach. I can imagine that many other students can't afford the housing here on campus. It's an extra like $4,000, and it's crazy. We need to address this with housing scholarships. There are students like me that can't afford meals. I can't buy a dining pass. I can't really afford to eat out all the time. To solve this, we need meal vouchers for both the dining hall and some of the restaurants on campus. And lastly, there are times where I need to print over 100 or 200 pages for classes. We don't have free printing. This is an issue isolated to FAU. Many other colleges have free printing. While other people worry about what parties they're going to go to or what tailgates they're going to attend, I worry about whether I can afford my rent this month. I worry about whether I have to sell my car. Thank you.
Thank you, May. Rico, your time starts in 3, 2, 1.
Thank you. So, like I spoke in the beginning, a lot of my time here at FAU has been marked as a student athlete. And the student athlete experience, which is a little bit different and atypical than most students. But that has allowed me to learn a couple things. And one of them is the importance of health and wellness. We talk about a healthy body, a healthy mind, and we talk about the student experience and living here in what we call our own little slice of paradise. And that's why, as your next governor, if elected, I want to push for more health and wellness focused programming that the student body actually wants to see, that they're going to be engaged with, and that they're going to be receptive to. Stuff like free Pilates, yoga classes on the housing lawn, partnering with other orgs on campus and making sure that we're getting every single owl into the fold, as well as not only promoting health and wellness, but also promoting that sense of community that lacks so much here at FAU at times. A lot of the times when I've talked to people who have left FAU or have transferred out, they're like, well, there's nothing really to do on campus. Well, let's change that. Let's start not only with health and wellness, but transparency into where and how your student dollars that you pay, that form student government's budget, are being spent. Let's talk about innovating and getting free CPR classes for all students. Again, my experience in all the diverse areas of campus that I've been involved with, athletics, housing, student government, and many more such areas, even resulted in me being the 2024 freshman convocation speaker, speaks to my ability to lead and serve all of our students. And I want to produce results for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rico. With that, we've now heard the responses from all 3 candidates. We're moving on to the second question of the day. What is the most important issue currently facing students on your campus? And realistically, what would you do as governor to address it? The response order for this question is as follows: May Rojas, Enrique, Toro-Mendez, and Dylan Salisbury. So, May, your 2 minutes has started now.
Simply put, the most important issue that faces students right now is affordability. And FAU makes it worse. Students pay $12.32 every semester. $12.32 for every credit hour every semester. It leads up to be about $120 each semester. I guarantee you, if you ask any student if they earn this back in the value that they get from student government, they say no. I've asked them. I've asked thousands of students. And I'd like to reiterate that this is reflected in our elections and in national statistics. Less than 10% of students at FAU vote in these elections, and 42% of working class Gen Z live paycheck to paycheck. I am one of them. I work 2 jobs. I worked 3 jobs at one point, and I still live paycheck to paycheck. In order for these students to be included in these conversations and for them to engage in our campus, We need to take care of their most urgent problems first. Housing subsidies, housing scholarships, housing stipends, whatever you like to call them. Students need the ability to afford their housing so that they can worry about what they want to spend their time on campus with, their precious time, their youth. Secondly, meal vouchers. Again, I can't afford to eat on campus all the time. My friends usually swipe me into the dining hall. It'd be so nice if I could just get a free meal and just go there on my own accord. And lastly, printing as well. Printing, I've spent probably around $50 to $100 on printing already. It gets a little ridiculous, but let's put ourselves up to the standards of other schools. Let's, in this election, get FAU involved and make it on the same tier list as other schools in the state. Thank you.
Thank you, May. Rico, you're next. Your time has started now.
Thank you. So, the most important issue currently facing students on the Boca Raton campus, I want to start with this. A lot of your issues and how we can resolve them and take first steps to actually addressing them comes with fostering productive and transparent conversations with all of the areas that we're conducting business in. That goes straight to admin, straight to our other clubs, straight with even outside vendors, right? When we're transparent about how we're conducting our business, when we're honest and we have good, productive, transparent conversations, that's how true progress can actually be made. And with that, we're going to look to tackle parking solutions, to reduce the demand of parking on campus, to take the first tangible and realistic steps. I'm not going to promise you a new parking garage by the end of my term, but we're going to be taking the first steps to actually address it and mitigate it with car sharing initiatives, which look to reduce the demand. We're going to look toward affordability and accountability. Not only accountability within housing and talking about affordability, making sure that every owl can afford to live on campus and they're actually getting a return on their investment, but making sure that our sports clubs have all the necessary equipment that they need, working collaboratively with the administration to make sure that every owl feels heard, and making sure that people know what student government actually does, and again, how it can serve you. There's so many people during my time in student government that I've talked to that don't know what student government actually does. We do so many things that can serve you and make your experience so much better, and I want to expand on that education piece so that you're properly informed. Again, with my experience and my connections, I believe that I am best suited to make this happen and produce results for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rico. Dylan, your time is starting in 3, 2, 1.
Students have told me that parking is the largest issue that they face on campus, and my plans to address parking start next semester. My immediate solution is to advocate to university administration to redistribute class scheduling outside of the main hours. Currently, what we're looking at when it comes to parking is a bottleneck, Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. These are when we see most of the parking tickets given out, and this is when we see most students struggling to find parking and struggling to make it to their classes. This doesn't require any construction, doesn't require any long-term approvals. It just requires using the position of governor to communicate the needs of our campus to our university administration. But I'm not naive. Scheduling changes alone won't solve this problem. So here's my commitment to all of the students of FAU. If elected, I will be the first Boca Raton campus governor to speak directly to the Board of Trustees and advocate for parking infrastructure to be the #1 focus in future initiatives for the Board of Trustees. Standing before the Board of Trustees, making the case that we cannot continue to build new facilities without giving students places to park will allow them to see that students need this and that this is students' #1 issue. Short-term relief next semester through advocacy, and long-term change through talking to the Board of Trustees and using my position as Boca campus governor to actually push for what we need. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. And with that, that is our final response to question 2. We move on to our third and final question of the night. What does success look like for your term, and how should students judge whether you delivered? For our final question, the response order will be as following. Enrique Toro-Mendez, Dylan Salisbury, and May Rojas. Rico, give me 1 second. Your time starts now.
Thank you. So success, what does it look like in my term? Not only does success mean for me that every owl feels heard, but I want you to know who I am. I want you to see me on campus and that you feel comfortable enough to come up to me and tell me, hey, you're doing a bad job. This is what we actually want to see. I want that type of transparency from you, because FAU, we are at such a crucial stage in our development right now, growing as a university, climbing up in the ranks, that you should come to expect more from your elected leaders. You should come more to expect from your student government, and you should demand more, and rightfully so, because we're accepting more students. We're opening up a new dorm. That means more money in the student government coffers, which means that we have to provide for you. You should feel a return on your investment and to have a good experience. I want to foster and create an inclusive campus culture where all of our owls feel heard, leveraging my connections not only with athletics and with housing and with all different areas of campus. I want to make sure that all of our student orgs feel heard, that we're providing for them, that we're being transparent with you. My solemn promise to you is every single move that I make, every single place that a dollar is spent, you will hear about it. That is my promise to you, because at the end of the day, that is not my money in my own bank account. That is your money that I am spending in long-term and short-term promises, in long-term and short-term projects. I'm not gonna come up here and preach empty promises. What I'm promising to you right now is we're going to be taking tangible first steps to providing and addressing solutions and in their progress as well. Thank you so much.
Dylan, your 2 minutes starts now.
Yeah, so the way that I would track success as governor is the same way that I track it in my own life. It's by checking off boxes. Within my first month as governor, me and my cabinet will have an ambitious plan with very specific goals that the student body will be able to see. The reason that we want to do this is we want to show the student body what our plans are so that you guys can track if we're successful. What are these goals? Better Wi-Fi on campus, more basketball tailgates, a spring concert where students can actually vote on the artist, real advocacy to administration for short and long-term parking solutions. And here's why this solution matters beyond just my term. Putting down real, trackable, and achievable goals will set systems in place for future student leaders who will take over this position, where they can get into the role and focus in on what they want to do for their term, and other students will be able to track it and see if they're completing the goals that they set out for themselves. So when I say I want to come back in 5 years and see these initiatives still serving our student body, I mean it. Because if I do this right, if I check off these boxes and build these systems, people will be able to see the impact that I've had on campus long after I graduate. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. May, your 2 minutes starts now.
Thank you. There are two ways that you'll be able to tell that my time as governor will be successful. The first of which, you should be able to walk into a room of at least 100 people, and at least one of them, just one, will tell you that they get their A&S fees back in value. That's it. Secondly, if I don't complete all my campaign promises, if I don't check off every single box, everything that I've promised you, I want you to show me this video and tell me that you failed as governor, and I will resign, because that's how simple it is. Thank you.
Thank you, May. With that, we have all responses from all three candidates regarding all three questions. So we will now move into our final portion, or not our final portion, but the next portion of our event. which is audience questions. We will ask the audience for 2 questions. So I'll now open the floor. Nick, I see your hands up.
So I guess one of my major concerns is housing. So I know there's a lot of talk about Greek housing. I want to ask, are you guys going to focus on Greek housing, or are you going to put like normal students, actual students first, and focus on all students, or just a particular group?
I apologize, guys. Thank you for the question. We do have a response order for the audience questions as well. The first question, the response order is as following. Rico, Toro-Mendez, Dylan Salisbury, May Rojas. So, Rico, you're free to answer. We will follow the same time constraints, so your time starts now.
Thank you. So, while Greek life is an integral and important part of our FAU community, let's not forget that there's regular students not in Greek life who call this campus home as well. Now, I've had multiple conversations with fraternity and sorority presidents who say, really, housing is important, yes, but that is not the entire piece that's going to solve the puzzle. Now, I've gone on record on UPress several times speaking on behalf of the new proposed development on University Park right off of 95 that is slated to have a form of Greek housing. I will advocate for Greek housing, but that does not mean I will leave the common non-Greek student behind. I represent all students on FAU's Boca Raton campus. I don't represent just one particular group. My promise to you is that I will fight and I will continue to push for tangible steps that you are able to see in the process of getting Greek housing in order to have a more unified, connected, and lively Greek community. But at the end of the day, my job here is to represent all students. And that's what I'm going to continue to push for, so that we all have housing, and so that maybe if there's not a set Greek housing, you have a better chance of having on-campus housing, and you can room with the brothers of your choosing. How it's being set out now. For me, the most important thing is that every owl feels represented and heard. And that's what I'm going to continue to push for with my connections in housing and my position speaking on these topics publicly. I'm going to push for Greek housing, and I'm going to make sure that all students feel represented, but at the end of the day, it's what's best for everyone. And that's what I'm here to do as your governor. Thank you.
Thank you, Rico. Dylan, you're next.
I think that this is a really important issue because I think that housing in South Florida, in Boca Raton, is extremely expensive, and it's very hard for a lot of students to find housing that they can afford. I think that this is an issue that can be tackled at the same time as tackling Greek life or Greek housing. Having Greek housing does not exclude other students from also having housing. They're 2 separate projects, and I do believe that we need significantly more on-campus and off-campus housing options for students for the Boca Raton campus. I think that having students struggling to find housing is a big issue, which is why one of the projects that I would want to push for is a database that has all of the housing that's available for students at FAU around the Boca area, so that students can find housing that's affordable for them, something that they could actually use, because there's a lot of housing that just isn't within range. A lot of places won't let college students live there. So I think having a list, a database that would allow us students to see where we could live would be really important. At the same time, Greek students are students too, and pushing for what they want, and they also want housing, whether that is an on-campus or an on-campus solution, is something that I think that is important for student government to do. My job as Boca Campus Governor would be to represent all students on the Boca campus, and part of that is housing, and I'd be very excited to do that.
Thank you. May, before you go, Alex, can you do me a favor and close the door for me? Thank you. May, with that, your 2 minutes starts now.
Thank you. I think the draw of being an on-campus student is, one, that it's close, that I can walk outside of my house and then walk to my classes, and 2, that it's affordable. FAU is the exception of affordable housing in Boca Raton. Taking away any of the scarce housing that we have and delegating it to Greek life is selfish. I love Greek life. It brings an integral part an integral culture to our campuses. I think every healthy college needs healthy Greek life, but we can tackle this in productive ways. Like every university, we can lobby our local cities, our commissioners, our councilmen. We can tell them to build a Greek row. It may not be on campus. Well, that's what it is. Every other university in the entire United States does this. It's effective. As governor, I would help you. I would go to the meetings with you. I know what it means to lobby. I've been lobbying before. I've been offered lobbying positions, and I haven't taken them. Because my home is here in South Florida. And like a lot of FAU students, my home is here at FAU. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I will now reopen the floor. Representative Wallace.
Thank you. So my question for you guys is, after like knowing the last three governors personally, like seeing how they interacted with their GACs, I think that's honestly one of the biggest things as governor. So my question to you is, how would you lead your respective cabinets to make sure that they're ensuring to do their jobs? As that is like, one of the biggest things on campus is ensuring that they are doing their jobs. So how would you lead them, and what is your process look like with that?
Sorry, guys. The response order for this question, it will be Dylan Salisbury, May Rojas, and then Rico Toro-Mendez. So, Dylan, your 2 minutes starts now.
Yeah, I think the number one most important thing when it comes to managing my governor's administrative cabinet is oversight. It's having those meetings with them, making sure that every single opportunity they have, every single question that they have, I'm there and I'm able to answer or find somebody that can answer it for them. I think that the most important part of being a leader is being somebody that they feel like they can call on when they need help. Setting them up for success initially is also an extremely important part. I think that at the beginning, like I said in a previous question, setting up a plan for the entire year within my first 30 days so that they all know what their expectations are for the whole year and they're gonna follow through on those things. The other thing is I think it's really important that they're held accountable by an outside source. We answer, as the governor's administrative cabinet, to the Boca House of Representatives. And I think it's important that they are, whether or not they're statutorily required to be, at every single meeting. I think that they need to be answering to the House and letting the House know what they're doing so that the House can hold them accountable and also help them out if that is needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. Next, we have May Rojas. May, your time starts now.
Thank you. A good and effective cabinet starts from its conception. The fact that any student can be interviewed or that any position can be filled without an interview or competitive interview at that is preposterous. We have probably 50 to 100 positions that are not just fillers on a resume. These are things that are worthy of being put down. These are leadership positions where you manage thousands, maybe millions of dollars. They are completely significant positions. To start, we need to have competitive elections. When I choose my cabinet, I will not choose any single person until I've had at least 3 interviews with people. They will not likely be my friends. They will not likely people that I've ever known. Why? Because that's what merit is. Merit is not your close friends. Merit are people who are most qualified for the job. And so, from then on, it's a wonderful team building experience. It's a wonderful way to build experience, friendship, and cooperation with people who you would never or wouldn't have cooperated with before. Thank you very much.
Thank you, May. And with that, Rico, your time starts now.
Thank you. So the first thing when it comes to developing and assembling a governor's administrative cabinet, again, like candidate Rojas said, from the start, for me, it's taking a realistic look at the situation that was inherited from the previous administration and developing a game plan. It's no different than stepping onto the field or developing a race plan. Your start line and your finish line are years. You know, the situation that you may be down 20 at halftime, that doesn't define the rest of the game. I take a team-first approach. Again, coming from my experience as a student athlete here at FAU, that is what I've seen works and how effective teams move forward. in every aspect of life, whether it be a Fortune 500 company or whether it be a Walmart. You know, you have to have strong, competent people backing you so you're able to progress, not as individuals that are running separate departments, but forward as a unit. So the people that are going to be in my cabinet, best you be assured, are going to be the most competent people from the pool of applicants that I have present. And we will move forward as a unit, as a team, towards one common goal. And I will be a staunch supporter of them in every single move and every single initiative. I want my governor's administrative cabinet to be one where open flows of ideas are generated and where every single one feels supported and feels that they can speak out. I have done this call out many times. Owl on me, owl on three. Let's change that to GAC. Why not? Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, I will be reopening for the third and final question. You're recognized, Nick.
All right, thank you very much. Last year, Executive Campus received $8,294.44 in campaign funds from external organizations with explicit political agendas. Unfortunately, we don't find out what those organizations are until after the elections. Could you tell us from which organizations or which individuals you have been fundraising, and whether or how you think that will influence your administrations if you were to win? Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Nick. And for this, a response order will be as followed. May Rojas, Enrique Toro-Mendez, Dylan Salisbury. May, with that, your 2 minutes has begun.
Thank you. Transparency is much to be said, but few to be seen. As part of not just my campaign promises, but on the campaign trail, I will publish my campaign finances. I will show you guys where I've been spending my money, where I get it from, as much as I possibly can. And I urge everyone to do the same. Reform requires unity. As for where I get my money from, we go to caucuses, Democratic caucuses. There's a lot of old people there, I'll tell you that. And so you'll see when I release my finances, a lot of them will say individual donors. That's not to hide their names. That's because sometimes they come up to me with a $20, $100 bill. I don't get their name. I don't get to give them a receipt. You will see names on there. Sometimes they give us a nice, neat little check, and I can give you all the information from there. But thank you so much.
Thank you, May. With that, Rico, your time has begun.
Thank you. So I am standing here as one of the few people that can say that I have taken no funding from any outside sources. All of this campaign and all of my expenditures are accurately tracked on a spreadsheet that I am glad to provide and publish once the campaign trail is done. It is purely out of my own dollar, and the fundraising that does happen from any outside sources have been thoroughly vetted by myself to be strictly nonpartisan. Again, I am not here to align with any political agenda or any ulterior motive. I am here to provide results for students. So what good does that do me if I have to cash in a favor later, aligning myself with X, Y, and the third? Again, I'm here to provide real results for all students. I'm not here to answer to anybody else, but all of you, students on the Boca Raton campus. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rico. Dylan, your time has started.
I would like to start off by first and foremost saying that I would never take a donation that has any strings attached to it at all. And I think that's a very important thing to say. All of the donation that our party makes comes from our fundraising team. And I'm very proud to say that all of the organizations and individuals who have done fundraising and given money to us do it because they believe that we are the best student leaders for the positions. I think that our roles as student leaders are about pushing for student voices and making sure that all students are heard. I think it's about making sure that no matter where you are on campus, if you have an issue or if you have something that you want to see happen on campus, you have somebody in a leadership position who's available to talk to you and who's going to push to make sure that what you want to see on campus happens. And I think that that's the most important thing, and that's why I'm running on bringing real results to campus and actually showing students what student government does. Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan, and thank you to all three of our candidates for those responses. That concludes our audience questions section. We move on to the closing section of our debate, which is the closing statements. We will stay with our 2-minute time limit, and the responses will be as follows. May Rojas, Enrique Toro-Mendez, Dylan Salisbury. May, your 2 minutes begins now.
Thank you. I have had the great honor of being at FAU, and I had never once envisioned myself, not even in a leadership position, but running for governor. This is a miracle for me. When I first came into college, I wondered, oh, I wonder what jobs I'm gonna get. Or, oh, I wonder if I'm gonna ever get an internship. Well, the answer to both is yes. I will win governor, and I will get a nice internship afterwards. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you, May. Rico, your 2 minutes begins now.
Thank you. For the past 3 years, I've had the honor of serving this university, not just as a student, but as a student athlete, as a vice president of the student athlete, student government, and as a 2024 freshman convocation speaker. In every one of those roles, I've learned the same lesson. Leadership isn't about a microphone or a title. It's about showing up, listening, and delivering for students. I'm running for FAU Boca Raton campus governor because our students deserve leadership that actually works for them. Leadership that advocates for health and wellness, not just during finals week or stress-less week, but year-round. Leadership that pushes for stronger student representation within the administration so student voices don't stop at the door. Leadership that operates with transparency, supports student organizations, and produces results while building a campus culture where every owl feels heard, valued, and respected. FAU is one of the most diverse and driven campuses in the state, but potential alone doesn't move us forward. Action does. And I've spent the last 3 years of my college career taking action, advocating and fighting for students from every single corner of this campus. I'm not running for a resume line, I'm running for a title. I'm running to serve because I truly believe in the potential of every single person and student on this campus because they make it so, so special. So tonight, I'll leave you with this. If you believe FAU can be better, more connected, more accountable, and more student-powered, then I'd be honored to earn your vote here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rico. Dylan, two minutes starts now.
So first and foremost, I just want to thank you all so much for showing up. Every single person here. I mean, we're talking about a debate right now for an election. It's all about civic engagement, and I'm really excited that each and every one of you are here. Talking about getting into the rest of the election and what comes beyond is honestly just the most exciting thought process for me ever. When I came to FAU originally, I came here, had no idea what I wanted to do, kind of just jumped into student government in my first semester, and it has changed my life. Honestly, the amount of opportunities that I've gotten, the amount of amazing people that I've met, the amount of change that I've been able to make for real students, and the amount of voices that I have been able to make sure have been heard and represented has changed my perspective on not just how I view FAU, but how I view the rest of my life after graduation. And so I just want to thank you all for being here yet again, because people like you are the reason that these positions are important and that these positions have people to represent. So it's really great that you guys are here. That's really all that I have for you guys. I hope you all have a great rest of your night, and voting days are coming up, so.
That's that's all I got for you guys. Thank you to all of our wonderful candidates for being here today. Thank you to you guys for showing out here and supporting your friends and fellow students. We encourage all the students to make their voices heard in this upcoming election. Have a great evening. Thank you for coming tonight. So.